Hello, everyone, and I welcome you all to today's exclusive podcast on shaping the next generation of enterprise innovation through developer ecosystems. I'm your host, Khushi, and I'm absolutely delighted to have you with us today. And it is my honor to welcome our distinguished guest for this session, Mr. L. Prithviraj, Developer Relations Lead at IBM. Prithviraj, it's such a pleasure having you here with me today.
Thank you so much, Kushi. Pleasure to be here with you and speaking today.
Yes. So before we move ahead, let me take a moment to introduce him. His journey began in a small community where his early experiments with devices and mobile innovation shaped his passion for technology. At Oppo, he filed a patent in mobile OS innovation, transforming curiosity into global impact. Since then, his career has spanned industries and geographies, driving community marketing at Oppo, scaling TikTok's developer ecosystem in India, leading partnerships at Microsoft, and now heading developer relations for IBM across India. And along the way, he has collaborated with startups, global enterprises, governments, and developer communities, building programs, events, and partnerships that bring cutting edge technologies to life. At IBM, he focuses on enabling enterprises to adopt AI, cloud, and next gen solutions at scale, empowering developers, partners, and clients to not just build products, but to build the future. And in today's conversation, we will explore how AI and cloud are transforming enterprise platforms and reshaping the way organizations innovate at scale. We'll also know why developer ecosystems matter beyond individual coding, highlighting how collaboration and community driven efforts can accelerate enterprise outcomes. And finally, we will discuss how the responsible adoption of next generation solutions ensure real world impact, balancing innovation with accountability. Our guest speaker today will share real world strategies, practical insights, and leadership lessons on how organizations can harness AI, cloud, and developer ecosystems to drive enterprise scale innovation. From transforming platforms to building collaborative ecosystems and ensuring responsible adoption of next gen technologies, this conversation is definitely going to shed light on how developers and leaders together can shape the future of enterprise innovation. So, without further ado, I would like to get started. So, to start things off, Prithviraj, let's talk about the powerful shift that we are seeing in enterprises today. With AI and cloud that aren't just buzzwords anymore, they're fundamentally reshaping how organizations build, scale, and innovate. So, how do you think AI and cloud technologies are reshaping the foundations of these enterprise platforms today?
Sure, Kushi. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. Um, you know, I want to go a bit backward when I see about these technologies on AI and cloud. So if you see the 2000s era, when the dot-com bubble started in, and we had a lot of these websites kicking in, and the world completely moved towards the internet, there was a shift that happened completely towards how we interact with computers and our computing machines in total. Then there was a decade that came of 2010, which was around, bringing these technology into hands of the people, which is through your smartphones, your smart gadgets, and a smaller devices started getting smaller. This is where we saw the shift of infrastructure from in-house infrastructures to directly into a cloud-based hybrid model, which we use in a lot of solutions that started in 2010 post. So every decade we have seen a technology that has disrupted and changed the way we compute or interact with the computing devices. So our interaction with these devices has shifted significantly, if we say from past 2 decades. And when we say about this decade, starting 2021, we are seeing the shift. That's the buzzword around called AI. So AI has always been there since the invention of computers. Machines are learning and adapting to bring efficiency and drive uh, a more interactive way with humans and delivering value. So this decade sees a tremendous shift that's happening across on how computing power is shifted into the hands of the common man, the people.
Correct.
So when we say about AI, we had a lot of these smaller versions of them in form of chatbots, etc., that came in 2016, in the mid of the last decade, and we also saw a shift on how we went as consumers to get some answers or some quick tricks and tips for a particular solution that we are looking at.
Right.
When it comes to an AI in this era, we are looking at a complete shift into our LLMs, a more robust and technology-proof solutioning when it comes to our future of computing that looks like.
Right. So, just like you mentioned, that this future of computing with which we are actually now moving ahead, what are the challenges that enterprises face in integrating these technologies at scale, and how can developer ecosystems help overcome them?
I think that's a great question that we all must be asking each other when it comes to enterprise development. So currently, I see three major challenges that are in the minds of enterprises or industries that are looking to adopt at AI. The first one is the lack of understanding and knowledge on what AI actually means. So that something is a huge gap that we are navigating towards filling in. As it happens to every new technology that comes in the decade, we are quite clueless on why, how, and what of the technology. So we are in that stage currently, moving forward at one step at a time. So I think that's the key challenge that we are navigating currently, and one of the ways enterprises are looking for adoption of AI. The second challenge that I see is driving value and efficiency uh, in the eyes of enterprises. How does this translate to outcomes, business values, and business revenue increase? This is something that needs to be translated well when it comes to technology. For example, if we look at the cloud transformation that happened, that clearly brought a outcome of reducing latency, technology adoption to your solutions, at the same time giving a better user experience to your you know enterprises internally and externally for your customers. So that was a shift that the technology on the cloud side brought. So similarly, we have to drive narratives that impact these revenue and efficiency conversations across for enterprises to be more involved and adoptable in terms of the AI boom that's happening across. The third challenge that I see is in terms of the talent that we have across right now. So there's been a couple of years where we speak a lot about AI, ML, and now we are speaking about agentic AI to be the new buzzword. So getting our existing talent skilled up on AI and the upcoming technologies remains a core focus for enterprises as a challenge. So that's where I think our developer ecosystem comes in a superhero entry where they are actually looking forward to be a part of influence when it comes to these technology adoptions. Not just revenue efficiency and other parts being a conversation play that are added, rather developers need to be upskilled to adopt these technologies. At the same time, think beyond the future where we're looking at innovation on AI, agentic AI solutions, and a bunch of other areas that would be driving across in our upcoming era.
Yes, and with all these upcoming, scaling of enterprises and how we can actually go at par with these technologies at scale, would you also like to share some examples where AI and cloud have actually transformed the enterprise outcomes in meaningful ways?
Sure. I think one of the partnerships that is very close to my heart that I want to take name is about the Ferrari HP collaboration that we did at IBM. So we collaborated with Ferrari to power their fan application. So this is a community application that drives real-time information, data, and insights to the fans across the globe. So this app ranges to a dimension of 390 million plus users across globe, and this is where you know AI and cloud together has joined in as a technology to drive real and meaningful insights for fans to consume when these matches run across. So this is where the entire Watson X suite of IBM comes into play. AWS Cloud was also a collaborator where cloud technology alongside had brought in a collaborative approach to fueling this app and giving an ultimate user experience for the consumer at the end.
Right. And of course, with this particular example, we'll be also able to actually imagine that how fast and rapidly this all this transformation is happening, and how we can really need to get par with all of these technologies and transformations per se, as we are moving into this technology itself when we're talking about the people and communities behind it. And as you know, the developers today, they're not just writing code, they're co-creating the ecosystems that actually fuel innovation at scale. So from that comes the next question, that how do you think that why is it important to look beyond just coding when we talk about developer impact in enterprises?
So I think that's an interesting question when it comes to how does a journey of a developer look today,
Yeah.
since the navigation we have done from past few years. So earlier, developers were trained and skilled on particular technologies which they handled for a span of duration, and they were trained on those systems. But when it comes to today, the dynamics is completely different. Developers are nonetheless sort of the runners of the entire system and solution that the enterprises are building. So coding is just a part where developer also plays an important role in bringing out the solution to life. At the same time, understanding the technology much at a deeper level and driving innovation when it comes to efficiency, redundancy, and a lot of other areas in terms of user experience, etc., is where a developer also has brought his shoes in. So there are new terms, coming across in terms of, like developer efficiency, which is something, that enterprises are looking at on what experience does these platforms or solutions that the enterprises are building are providing their developers with. So that's a key focus that is shifting culturally as well when it comes to our enterprises when they look at the entire developer ecosystems.
Yes, and this shift that is also, helping to look beyond the just coding aspect. Would you also like to tell me that how can the developer ecosystems actually to foster the innovation that scales across the teams, organizations, and even the industries?
Sure. I think one of the ways developers need to look at in today's day and age is how best they could add value when building the solution rounds up rather than just thinking of coding it, because there are a lot of agents and a lot of code that's developed through AI and other solutions.
Right.
So adding those architectural values when it comes to the future of technology is something that a developer has to think going forward. And understanding the newer technologies like agentic AI in itself is a plethora of opportunities that it has to offer. So how does one understand and develop those technologies and infuse them in the solution that is working, or try and be in part of influence when it comes to the higher management when these solutions are developed at an enterprise grade? So that's something a role of a developer is going to look like in future, and that's where the shift and the cultural difference has to be brought in terms of thinking towards innovation and bringing them towards any products.
Yes, absolutely. Rightly, you mentioned this part that how these, the teams and organizations can actually collaborate and work together with the innovation to foster also, and also with the developer ecosystems evolving at such a rapid pace. And as you also see that there are also many models or practices wherein the ecosystem actually collaborate to lead to the breakthrough enterprise innovation. So Are there any successful models or practices that you have seen where the ecosystem collaboration is leading to these breakthrough enterprise innovations?
Sure. I think one another area that's upcoming towards the developer ecosystem, and I'm not sure how it's being welcomed, is that collaboration is brought at key when it comes to organizations as well. So when
Yes.
you look at enterprises, earlier it was a develop in a box model where you develop your solutions and take it to the world. But now with AI and the newer technologies that are coming, which definitely makes us more responsible to develop these solutions in a way which the world looks at us when we are having it across a few years later. But at the
Yeah.
same time, how do you bring these aspects of collaboration into your day to day is something that rising. One of the examples I would like to share is the AI Alliance group, which is created recently, a couple of years when the AI boom started and enterprises started adopting AI. So AI Alliance is a community-driven approach where we have all the major AI producers and the software product manufacturers. So they are on board to AI Alliance. They also use this platform to dissipate learning resources and other solutions that are required for a developer to scale up. So such solutioning is coming, and these are used in building products that are used on enterprises. For example, IBM has an open source model called Granite. So this is also perfected and used in multiple ways by the AI Alliance group. So there are other models as well which are fostered on the open source contributions and how these are adopted eventually at the enterprise scale. So I think these are the models that are going to be successful in future when it comes to enterprises. One of those examples were those. And when it comes to industry specific examples, there are industries that are coming together to drive adoption of AI. Like Meta and other companies like AWS, etc., are also part of the AI Alliance. They are looking at driving adoption for the existing models as well as build a platform which is open and shareable to the entire ecosystem as well.
Correct, Prithviraj. And as just so you mentioned that with these models and practices, actually the ecosystem collaboration is possible, which can also help in the enterprise innovation. And now, finally, I would like to talk about that the responsible adoption of next gen solutions for real world impact is something. As you know, that innovation comes with responsibility, and as enterprises are adopting AI, cloud, and other emerging solutions, the question is that no longer just can we build it, but should we, and how do we do it responsibly? So, what are those guardrails or cultural shifts that are needed to balance speed of innovation with accountability and trust, according to you?
Sure. I think that's a question that is, everyone's looking answer for. How do we build, AI agents that are safe, secure, and at the same time solve the purpose that they are built for? So
Right.
how I look at, building these guardrails and what cultural shift is needed, it has to be infused at every level of development. So for example, if we start thinking of building an AI agent for a particular use case, say a supply chain use case, uh, we have to look at understanding what models are required by us, uh, how much of capacity of these models do we use particularly, and how do we shape that solution grounds up. So the first guardrails that have to be put are across the initial stage while selecting the tools and the tool set that you'll be using for building these solutions. And at each layer, as you advance and you start building these solutions, having those guardrails advance and having a monitoring system that actually gives you insights, a deeper insights rather than just the incident ones, is something that is crucial when it comes to LLMs and the entire agentic AI solution that we are building. And of course, there has to be a human intervention that when it comes to building responsible AI solutions, when, where, and how much is something that has to be defined based on the use case that you're looking at. At the same time, having a standard monitoring solution for the entire, product that you are building is crucial when it comes to each layer of those products.
Absolutely, Prithviraj. And just so you mentioned that this is the exact way that how do we do it responsibly with these guardrails and all these cultural shifts that are really required to balance speed of innovation. And looking ahead, what role will do you think developers will play in ensuring the next gen solutions to have a sustainable and positive impact on the enterprises and also the society?
Sure. I think I would be a bit biased here saying that developers are definitely going to play a major role when it comes to shaping the next gen technologies, which has been the case whenever we see a technological transformation. It's just that the scale and the intensity of the technology shifts have been varying. But when it comes to the shift in AI, that's a significant one that we are going to see in the history. There's an opportunity at the same time a core responsibility for developers to help build solutions that are responsible at the core, innovative in nature, and also drive the meaningful way of serving the humanity with technology, what developer looks at. So I think that's going to be the crux when a developer is looking at. But definitely there will be a shift when it comes to how they function, uh, how they how their day to day might look like. So that's definitely an addition. Nonetheless, this would be an addition when it comes to the technology stack that's added to their skill set. Definitely a curious and interesting nature for developers to look at on what they could build next. So that's a great opportunity that the entire ecosystem brings in, and they do play a crucial role when it comes to building these responsible solutions because they are the ones who are closest to the product
Right.
while it's being built, during it's built, and even after it's built. So that's where I think they have to be ethically driven when it comes to building these guardrails. At the same time, be crucial that the computing power that these technologies have are at a scale and would generate numerous amounts of data. So building these responsible guardrails is the core responsibility of a developer going forward at the same time as he advances towards building these solutions in total.
Yes, and that's really something for all those budding developers who are, working to build this sustainable and positive impact on enterprise innovation and also on the society. And not only this, what stands out is that enterprise innovation today is no longer about technology in isolation. It's also about the ecosystems, the collaboration, and responsibility, I have to say.
Rightly.
Yes. So now, before we wrap up, I would like to do a quick rapid fire round with you, Prithviraj. They will be short, fun questions, and I would like to hear your instinctive thoughts on that.
Sure.
So I would like to begin with it. The first one is that one major shift that you have witnessed in the last decade in the developer ecosystem.
So I think developers are not just happy with the goodies and the lunch that's being provided. They want more. I see that shift happening across, and they're hungry for building and creating stuff. That's even more coming across.
Yes, that's absolutely to the point that all of our budding developers will actually relate to. So moving forward, which tool is a must-have in your developer toolkit?
Okay, that is something of a question. So definitely, I'm not saved from the LLMs ecosystem that's being developed. So one tool that I definitely use is in terms of when it comes to developing solutions, the Watson Xcode Assistant, which is a tool that helps me code in 115 plus languages, build my use cases, define those test cases, and also run this code at a level and give me insights on what's going wrong in this particular part and help me debug at a great level. So I would say Watsonix Code Assistant is something that I have it in a kitty.
Absolutely noted. With so much great insights, of course. And now moving forward, the next one is that what do you think, collaboration or competition? What drives innovation faster?
I would say collaboration with competition to preserve the excellence, or go across for excellence is something that I would look at.
Yes, absolutely. So, also, if you could describe the future of enterprise innovation in one word, what would it be, according to you?
I think it would be collaboration.
Yeah,
That's something that I personally feel is the key to successful technologies that are brought in the next years.
right. So, moving towards the end, what's that single most valuable tip that you would like to pass on to the fellow developers?
So one, I would say a suggestion, or a key takeaway that I want developers to look at is the technology shift does happen every decade. It's not something new that you're looking across. I would urge them to look at it as an opportunity to build something new, learn something new, at the same time take this forward in their journey and grow when it comes to building these technologies. There's nothing to be worried as such when it comes to technologies, because this has happened in the past and this is going to happen in the future. The only way to overcome is upskilling yourself. Try and upskill as much as possible when it comes to newer technologies with the curiosity to learn. I think that goes far, and that's where I think there's ample resources available. A lot of companies do have, free learning resources, and one of the key areas these enterprises are looking is to upskill their talent. That's going to be the crucial, where you developers have an opportunity to be the flag bearers of the next technology shift that's happening. So I would say all the best and go for it.
Yes, definitely, Prithviraj. And this is actually something that all of the budding developers, actually look forward to with all of these technologies evolving, with all the landscapes evolving. This is something that they can actually stick to and move forward with all these advancements per se. So, lastly, I'd like to ask you that as this is your first interaction here at the Leader Circle program, so what are your views on this initiative?
I think this is a great initiative when it comes to bringing tech leaders together. So there has been a lot of buzz and chaos when it comes to technology on AI specifically right now, and this initiative plays a key role on bringing the key stakeholders together to voice their opinions, not just share the text or the format that they are going across, but help them voice what technology means and how it's going to transform the future. So I think this would be a great platform for even the developers to learn from the leaders and understand, what shift is actually happening and how much of it is real. So that's the realism I think the program would bring in, and a lot of opportunity for folks to learn out there. And I myself am learning quite when it comes to the leaders and the nature of leaders across the program. Looking forward to doing that as well.
Yes, absolutely, Prithviraj. And it's always encouraging to hear that it's helping bring the industry leaders and developers together. So, so many questions, but all of them answered. So, this has really truly been an insightful conversation with AI and cloud redefining the enterprise platforms. But their true impact is unlocked when developer communities come together to drive outcomes beyond just coding. And as you see enterprises moving faster than ever before, balancing innovation with accountability has to be the key to building solutions that create meaningful and sustainable impact. So, Prithviraj, thank you so much for sharing your perspectives, the strategies, and all the lessons that we have learned with you today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on this podcast.
Thank you so much, Kushi, for having me here and also a great conversation with you.
Yes, absolutely. It was really great knowing from you. And also to your audience, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the session. And until next time, this is your host, Kushi, signing off. Stay tuned for more such conversations from TechGig. Stay curious and stay innovative.